Christmas Eve, December 24th, year of our Lord, 2024. Hope everybody's having a happy and a healthy.
Using free speech to free minds.
So, I hope everybody's having a good Christmas Eve. We're having a good Christmas Eve down here in South Carolina. Hope you guys are as well. I wanted to just hop on and, just kind of, fill everybody in on a few things. I wasn't sure if I was going to come on tonight, because I know that there's a lot of people doing a lot of other things, but I mean, there's just so much stuff going on that it just, you get that urge and you're like, man, I gotta get on there and say something. So, I'm gonna start out with, government is the Christmas grift that keeps on taking. Congress, gives themselves a raise as the job report shows that we actually lost jobs over this past year, and we're bleeding manufacturing jobs. And these people, or bums, however you decide to describe them in Congress, gave themselves a raise. They went from $174,000 to $240,000 per year. Nice raise if you could get it. They also got an extra health care plan option for themselves. I think that now makes 5 different socialized plans that they have for themselves. I lost track, I think, after 3. And you have to ask yourself, do these people at this time, hey, Tanya, Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming to the party. Do they deserve a raise with their performance? Right now, credit card debt is going through the roof. And it's not for items that, like, to build up your business or, things that are going to bring back real capital. Credit card debt is going through the roof because people are having to buy food. They're buying gasoline with it. It's to stretch them out over the months. And so as the government is stealing from you, these people in Congress thought that they deserved a raise. And I just find it appalling, especially during these times, after all that they've beaten you down with. High gas prices, high food prices, high insurance. To raise a kid right now in the schools is just, it's tough. I'll tell you what, if my son was younger, I would not put him in a public school. There would be no way. Here's my advice to parents if you were to take it. Don't buy that second car, that second SUV. Don't spend $60,000, $70,000 on a car and then send your kid to the public school so they can tell them what gender your kid is. That is ridiculous. Go buy yourself a beater as a second car. Go save the money. Do homeschooling. Put them in private school. There are so many different alternative schools. Okay, they have online, all sorts of different resources now. You don't have to put up with the government mishandling your children, abusing your children. You don't have to put up with it. So give yourself a New Year's gift, and give your kids the best gift possible, and take them out of those filthy, disgusting warehouses we call government schools. These people don't only deserve not to get a raise, they deserve term limits. Actually, their term is up. Not one person in Congress, except for the people who voted against this ridiculous budget, okay? Continuing resolution, which really means continuing to keep doing the same thing over and over again. They should be out. We should have, kind of like how you buy something at the store and you take it home, you're like, oh, this is not what I bought. We should have a receipt. And that receipt should say, hey, I want my vote back. Let me take this vote back. This politician, it's broken, and I want to, take it back. So, we need an eject button for these bums in Congress. But, as I was thinking of the holidays, I just can't believe this story that came out where this animal, his name is Sebastian Sabata or whatever. You know what? I don't even want to get his name right. 33-year-old Guatemalan up in New York on a subway I used to take as a kid when I used to visit my uncle. Killed an unidentified homeless woman sleeping on the subway in Brooklyn. Set her on fire by an illegal crackhead who was smoking K2. Now, I'm not really sure what K2 is. Maybe some of the younger people or somebody can tell me what the hell a K2 is. But basically this thing, whatever this was that this idiot took, made this guy absolutely insane. And of course, this guy is being taken care of. He's being paid for by us. We put him up in housing, he gets food, and I'm sure he gets an Obama phone, and, he's probably living better than some of us out there. And I'm sure the Guatemalan government and people are missing this. I have a few choice words. It's Christmas, so I'm not gonna go there. But he's a coward. And this is a guy who set a woman on fire, who was also homeless. And as she lied there burning to death, this animal found a seat, sat down, and was just watching the woman burn to death. Now, I don't know how evil a person can be, how drunk a person can be, how high a person can be, to be able to sit there and watch another human being pass away in that manner. You can't even have words for it. So I really wanted to come on here and pray for that woman's soul, that woman's family. A lot of my friends know my brother was murdered. I couldn't imagine my brother being... My brother went quick by another coward who took his life. And I hope that she went quick. I can't imagine that she went too quick, but I just want to pray for her, and let's pray for her family. Because even though that she was homeless, she was a human being, she was a citizen, she did not deserve to die that way. And I wouldn't be surprised with some of the stuff that I have seen on social media with this Luigi character, that there are probably people out there cheering this on somewhere, but they're too afraid to say it out loud. So what they do is they keep silent. Sometimes when you don't say anything, it says more than actually saying it. I'm a big believer in that. I think sometimes silence could be the loudest words spoken in the room. And this should be outrage, regardless what political party you're in, where you're from, what your background is, what religion you are. Doesn't matter. Nobody should die in this manner. Now, let's get into a little bit of the politics of it, because there is some real backstory to this. This guy crossed the border twice. Now, we don't know when he crossed in the first time, but we do know that under the Trump administration, the Trump administration kicked him out in 2018. And that was the right thing to do. And, you know, all the people that are silent on this issue, mainly on the left, I noticed, you know, they're silent because they really want these people in here. I mean, I don't know why. They just hate Western civilization. They just despise it. But Trump did the right thing here. His administration did the right thing. And they got this lowlife out. Well, because of what happened in 2020, Biden gets in, and the first thing he does is he starts signing executive orders to open up the border. Well, guess who comes back into the country? Sebastian from Guatemala. And it's because of the Joe Biden policies that this guy stole one of our most precious resources, a U.S. citizen. It's our most precious resource, are our citizens. Everybody has value, okay? Everybody. And it just really makes my heart cold thinking about that people would support this, that people would stay silent on this, that people, for political gain, would use this as a billy club to attack their political foes and use it as a political weapon. We really have a lot to learn in this country. You know, we are supposed to be the most civilized nation on the planet, and we are becoming barbarians in the street. When you look at these last few stories that have happened, I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. Society is crumbling in front of us, and it's because we are running away from our Western civilization. We are folding to the powers of socialism, to the powers of centralized government, to the power of centralized planners who don't want you to own anything. They loathe the family unit. They hate mothers and fathers. They want to take your children and turn them against you. You know, when my son was growing up, you know, he would have never thought, hey, I'm going to call a cop, you know, because you offended me, or, you know, something like this. He would have never done something like that. It's ridiculous. Because, you know, want to know something off the bat? My boy had respect for me. He would never talk to me like that in the first place. And I had respect for him. We love each other. But now, the way kids are raised and what they learn in the schools, you know, they learn a lot of stuff at that bus stop. Okay, that's where they learn all the bad stuff. All the things mommy and daddy tried to instill in you, the kids at the bus stop pounded out of them. So when you get the kid home, he's all screwed up. And now the parents have to deal with these kids that are out of control. And then what's the school's remedy? I'm going to get them on pills. We're going to drug these kids up. And then you're going to have to deal with them. And so our society is decaying. And so we're going to see more and more of this. And as the economy keeps crumbling, as we've seen in other civilizations that have crumbled, you see their society fighting from within. You see them ripping and tearing apart. You know, we've seen it in Germany. We've seen it in Rome. We've seen it with the Greeks. Okay? We always see that. You know? Where the civilization, as they start to break down, the heinous crimes get just completely out of control. And so, you know, this story really affected me because it's, you know, it's Christmas time, and I don't know if this woman had a family or not, but it really affected me, and I know if you're on here, it affected you as well. And please speak up about it. Please, 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 don't let this woman's life go in vain. We can't let that happen. I hope they come up with her name soon. I just looked, I checked. I still don't have a name. I'd like to call her by her name. I don't have it yet. I hate knowing his name. That part I can't stand. So hopefully now we have Trump back in office. I like Holman, who's in charge of the border. I think this guy's going to do a great job. This guy, he's even bringing in people like Mayor Adams, who also has recognized that New York has an illegal alien problem. And let's hope that we can actually get this border closed. Let's take the Border Patrol and the Coast Guard, and let's put everything at the border. Let's stop sending our troops overseas and bring them home. Let's close our border and end this nonsense, okay? And let's create mini Ellis Islands so people can come in legally, become productive citizens of society, because those are the people that we actually want, right? We want them legal. We want them to produce, right? We don't want people coming here for welfare and Obama phones and smoking K2, whatever that is, right? If you're going to do that stuff, please don't come, right? Don't come, right? Look, it's really, I'm really looking forward to that part of the Trump administration. He's really strong on the border. And I'd like to see a stronger border, a fair border. I want a path to citizenship that doesn't take a decade, but does have requirements in there that can vet people and hopefully brings in people that want Western civilization, that want to assimilate, so this is important. That's basically where I am on that stuff, and I pray for President Trump, and I pray that he does a good job on this. I'm looking forward to it. Let's build that wall. Let me take a minute, maybe to read some of the comments. Let me take a moment to read some of the comments, and I appreciate everybody that's here. We're scared. Let's see. Oh, I think it's crack. Amy Governal. Julie, they need God. They sure do. They sure do need God. Sick and evil people. I know. It's really amazing. He's worse than being mentally ill. There's no words, as you said. Well said, Amy. Todd, it's sad the people around it were afraid to help because of the Daniel Penny incident. Todd, that's it. I mean, now, I have a relative from the Bronx, okay, who rescued a guy who was being mugged. And then the mugging, somehow, I guess the guy was smoking a cigarette or something. The car went on fire. It was a whole thing. And I'm related to this person. I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm going to, I don't know if the person wants to be known. And a fight happened. All this happened. He saved this other person's life. He was given an award. You get awards in my world, in the world. New York, I grew up in, okay? New Jersey, Jersey City, right? You did a good deed. You saved a woman from a thing, or you did it, whatever it was. You were given an award. You were not put up on trial. You weren't being tried as a pervert, or as a murderer. What is wrong with these people? And you're right, because Todd, you nailed it. Because of what happened to Daniel Penny, there are going to be less people who are going to stand up and do the right thing. But you know what, Todd? I know you. I've seen you for years. You're going to stand up for somebody. I know that you are, just like I am. I'm still going to stand up. Let them sue me. Let them come after me. I'm ready for it. And I have a lot of love and support out there. I'm sure that people would come in my defense just as they would come to yours. But, you know, it's true. People will not stand up because of what happened to Daniel Penny. So I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because it really is the truth. Good guys finish last. You know, in a lot of ways, yeah. I mean, a lot of times the good guys get the short end of the stick. I've been in that position many, many times, and I expect as life goes on, I'll get that end of the stick still. Just like you, Ann. It's a shame. We should not reward the villain, right? Not the coward who shoots somebody in the back. We should reward the person who stops the guy from shooting the person in the back. But I don't know why we can't understand that. You know, Tanya, I'm not sure that, you know, were people scared to step in or not? You know, because people just sat there with their self. I mean, look, that's another thing now. You know, it's like now we glorify, you know, people getting their brains beat in. We glorify some of the most heinous stuff going on out there. And the first thing people do is like, oh, let me, you know, put up my cell phone rather than jumping in and help. You know, and it's sad. Don't be one of those people. You know, don't be one of those people that just pull out your cell phone. You know, and I know it's easy for me to say that, and everybody has different situations, and maybe you can't help. But at least call somebody. You use 911, right? If you're going to use your phone. Call an officer. Call for help. You know, also, hopefully you don't live in one of those states that don't respect the Second Amendment. I'm a big Second Amendment person. I believe in self-defense. And if you could get yourself a nice something to help protect yourself if you're not physically able to, you know, you don't have the training and stuff like this, definitely go for your license. Do it lawfully, do it legally, do it respectfully, right? But definitely go out there and protect yourself. It's really important that people do that, because you just never know when you're going to get ambushed, like this woman, or like my brother, or like the CEO. What you get? Well, in that case, nothing would have helped him. He got it in the back, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, the whole society is changing, and you know, that's a great point, Amy. Elon Musk, you know, he's got that Starlink, and what he did was he put Starlink in this little village in the middle of nowhere in the Amazon, and they wanted to test to see, hey, how are the people going to act with the internet? Now, these are people in the jungle. They don't have a TV. They don't have electricity. You know, very agrarian type of lifestyle. Well, literally within like 90 days, they come back. The kids aren't doing their chores. They're watching porn. All this is going on. All this is going on. The whole society was breaking down. You know? And, you know, the all sorts of fights between the parents. And so Elon Musk proved that the internet does damage people. So there is a lot of that going on. where I guess people can become mentally ill from this type of technology. Yeah, I mean, we definitely live in a scary world, Amy. We definitely do. And, that's why it's important that we vote for people who are going to protect our rights, okay? And not just rights that they feel comfortable with. See, if you're expressing your rights, I don't have to agree with every right that you like to express yourself with, okay? As long as you are not infringing on my rights to live my life peacefully, go live your life, okay? But it's when somebody else is infringing on other people's rights, that's when society needs to stand up and say, no, that's not right. That's when government's supposed to step in and protect us. See, government is supposed to be there to protect our rights, okay? The Constitution actually governs the government from harming us, right? They're supposed to be protecting our rights, not making a pathway for murderous animals like this to come and attack us. And so I think Joe Biden is absolutely responsible. And, let me, I want to share something else. Joe Biden gave a gift. Joe Biden, let me just tell you how terrible this guy is. And again, I'm in neither political party. I'm a libertarian. I say that proudly. But man, this Joe Biden, this guy, this is beyond being senile. This guy is actually doing damage to the country. He commuted some sentences for some people, and I'd like to share them with you. Brandon Council was sentenced to death for murdering a 59-year-old Donna Major, a 36-year-old Katie Sheen in 2017 during a South Carolina bank robbery. So here we have a guy stealing, going to a bank, putting, I don't know if anybody's ever been mugged or stolen from. It is absolutely traumatic. I can remember back with the Summer of Love. Does everybody remember the Summer of Love, right? With the George Floyd riots, hero George Floyd. I had Democrat friends who made excuses for people's businesses being robbed and burned down. Oh, well, they have insurance. As if, insurance money just comes out of thin air. As if those people weren't terrorized and maimed. Their lives were destroyed. This guy, Brandon, destroyed Katie Sheen and her family. Tonight, during Christmas Eve, the Sheen family, they have an empty chair. And they had justice. The justice system, look, I went through this with my brother being murdered. You say justice, it's never really justice, but it's better than the person walking free. And, they sentenced this guy to death. And Joe Biden commutes the sentence. This is not what pardons are for. This is not why George Washington started a pardon. And I'm going to get into why George Washington did that in a minute. But we have more people that got their sentence commuted. Edward Leon Fields Jr. was sentenced to death for murdering 47-year-old Charles Glenn Chick and his wife, 50-year-old Shirley Chick, while they were camping in the Winding Star Mountains of Oklahoma. Have you ever gone camping? It sounds beautiful, Winding Star Mountains, Oklahoma. I've never been there. Boy, it sounds beautiful. It sounds like a place I'd love to go. Well, there are 2 more seats during Christmas time that are empty. And Joe Biden just rewarded that guy. Just rewarded him. Rewarded him. Does that guy deserve a reward? The guy who took away those 2 beautiful people? Producers? Assets to our communities? I don't think so. What says you? Do you think that that guy deserved his sentence commuted? I don't. I'm going to read one more, and then I'll read some comments. Former New Orleans Police Department officer Len Davis was sentenced to death for ordering the murder of a 32-year-old Kim Groves after she filed a civil rights complaint against him. So basically, this officer, and again, I am a big supporter of police, but I support good police. I do not support police who abuse their power. This guy hunted this woman down and had her murdered for filing her lawful civil rights complaint. Tonight, the Grove family is missing a seat at the table. Convicted by a jury, sentenced by the judge, and Joe Biden for Christmas commuted this guy's sentence. And you tell me, somebody who abuses power. Let me tell you something. Because I have NYPD officers in my family. And actually, I have an uncle who was in the Bronx Beat, has a book written about him. There was a book, actually case law was written on this case. But anyway, I'll get into that at another time. It's a long story. It's a good story, and it's pretty. It's very educational. But so I love police. I respect them. I can remember wearing the NYPD hats and the shirts and the and you would wear just as much as I wore my Yankee hats and stuff. You were proud of it. Especially after 9/11. So I definitely do not revel in seeing an officer pull stunts like this and go down this road. But the way to hurt a cop, the biggest enemy of a good officer is a bad officer. And I wanted to say that because we really want to give power to people who deserve it. And so I don't believe that guy deserved to be, commuted. Love you too, Amy. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ellen, for tuning by. I hope you enjoy it. Aunt Ellen. Marvin Charles Gabrion was sentenced to death for murdering a 19-year-old Rachel Timmerman, who he was also accused of sexually assaulting. So, again, you can pardon people, you can commute their sentences. Does this guy who took away a 19-year-old woman who clearly raped her and then killed her, found guilty? This is who you reward? The Timmerman family are missing somebody at their table tonight. And how does Joe Biden thank them? He rewards the person who took away their daughter. That was a daughter. That person never had children. That person could have been a mother by now. That person could have started a business. That person could change the world, could have found the cure for cancer. No, she can't find the cure for cancer. All those on the left crying about being dropped. Well, how about, what if she would have been a scientist? She could have solved hunger for people. No, instead she got killed. And how did Joe Biden reward the Timmerman family? By rewarding the person who killed that person. Completely ridiculous. I'll do one more. Daniel Troya and Ricardo Sanchez Jr. were sentenced to death after murdering a family of 4. Wow, look at this. So we get 2 for 4 here. 28-year-old Jose Luis Escobardo, 25-year-old Jessica, Guardo Escobardo, and of course they killed their 2 children. Oh my God. This is hard. 3-year-old Luis Escobardo and 4-year-old Julian Escobardo in West Palm Beach, Florida, 2006. So these 2 didn't only kill the parents, they took away a 3- and a 4-year-old child. What is going on here? I mean, what world am I living in that's the guy that Joe Biden rewards? I would be lying if I said I was not fighting back tears trying to read that. That was tough. I gotta be honest. Where is our hearts? What are we doing? We need to take this country back. We need to seriously reevaluate what's right in this country. If you can't feel when a child is stolen, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't. I can remember my kid when he was 3 and 4. Do you remember yours? Or when you were 3 or 4? You know, what were you doing when you were 3 or 4? You know, I remember one of my earliest memories was in the park in Brooklyn. And I remember I was drinking from a public water fountain. And my grandmama yelled, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like I just poisoned myself, and I probably did. That's probably why I got these strong antibodies today. I got subhuman strength. That's how I got through those 4 surgeries this year. Because I drank from the public fountain as a kid. But, hey, you know what? When it's hot, man, you'll drink from anywhere. And Brooklyn gets pretty steamy in the summer times. If you've lived up there, Jersey City too. We didn't have AC. We had the windows were painted, and you used to, force them up. And with all your strength, you get a hernia, and you get it up maybe this much, and just enough to get a little breeze in there. But you want to know what? I would not trade that for the world. What we grew up with back then. I miss those people. I miss that lifestyle. I miss the simpleness of it. You go to Jersey City today, you go to Brooklyn today. I mean, just completely different places. I go out to Long Island, completely different places. And it's really sad to see that the fabric of the city has just been ripped apart. I mean, these were beautiful places where you could have a family, make a good living, and you could go to school. I mean, I remember being a kid riding on that subway. And what my biggest worry was taking the subway as a kid was missing my stop. Because me and my brother, my sister, or my cousins, we would be playing on the train. Something kids used to do, actually react with each other. And, in my family, and I'm sure like your family, if you grew up in the city, we didn't have latchkey parents. They were like, hey, take the train up, go da-da-da-da, go see your aunt over here, go drop off this, and you just did it, so I miss those days. I wish we could put a kid on the subway and have them run errands like I used to do, and I'm sure you used to do, or, you know, go take a bike ride somewhere without having a brick thrown at their head or something, you know, wild going on. But I digress from that. So during this Christmas, all of those seats are empty tonight, and you know, I know what that's like personally. I know a lot of you out there know what that's like personally. And it's one thing when you lose a seat because the person dies of old age or something like this, but it's another thing when the person is literally stolen from you. And so that kind of changes your perspective on all that stuff. Now, you know, let me see if there's any comments. Sorry, I digress. Oh, Todd, is that right? So he also pardoned a woman who killed her, I think it's her 3 kids and husband for insurance payouts. Do I have that right, Todd? I mean, that's just unbelievable. I mean, you know, geez. God. I mean, you know, look, I'm a big second chance believer. I know if you're a Christian, part of being a good Christian or even a good human being, you know, you teach your kids, hey, if you make a mistake, you know, I don't have a pencil now, but if you have a pencil that is an eraser for a reason, and you erase it and you fix it, right? And you be proud of the work that you do, and you treat your neighbor right, and you treat yourself right, and you treat your family right. But there are just some things in life that, you know, you don't get a second chance on. And one of those things is stealing a life, stealing a child, killing, you know, just it's just disgusting what Joe Biden did during the holidays. And I pray for those people too, Todd. Yeah, Lincoln Riley. I mean, look, I didn't really talk a lot about Lincoln Riley on my post because there was so much economic news going on. You know, here we have Lincoln Riley again. You know, beautiful woman. You know, just she was an asset to our society. I mean, again, a precious resource stolen by somebody allowed to come into our country, hated Western civilization, doesn't want to assimilate with us, you know, brings nothing positive to the country. Why the left wants a person in this country who doesn't want to be an asset to the country is beyond me. And then you support somebody who, for political purposes, kills a person like Lincoln Riley. I mean, it's just completely unbelievable. And so we pray for Lincoln Riley. I mean, there's another seat. And again, why? And the left. And I have friends who are Democrats. And it hurts me to say this, but it's true. They were silent with Lincoln Riley. And they defend a lot. Some of them defended the murderer of Lincoln Riley. All because Trump defended her. So you hate Trump so much that you defend a murderer, or you stay silent, which is the other way of defending, right? You know, I disagree with Trump on a lot of things, a lot of stuff. But, you know, I respect the man. I hope I hope President Trump is the best president of our generation. I hope so. I pray for him to do the right thing. I hope he goes in there, closes the border, becomes a fiscal conservative, gets government under control, tells these creeps who gave themselves a raise, no, take that back. Take it back. No, you don't get a raise. You get a raise when the American people get a raise. Until then, you get nothing. Matter of fact, You know what the Bobby Bones plan would be? If inflation goes up 10%, you lose 10%, right? Because you're the government. You stole from our citizens 10%. We're taking 10% from you. Okay? Yeah. And you don't like it, pack a bag, right? And you get out. Or like I said, we should have an eject button to eject these people. They're horrible people. Yeah, I mean, Amy, I agree. I mean, I think, look, I think the DOJ needs to, look, I don't believe in, you just searching for a crime, but I think the DOJ might have a lot here to work with. And if they can articulate a crime, this is how I go, the Bones way we go about it. If the DOJ can actually articulate a crime that Joe Biden has done, then let's hold him accountable. Okay? Now, with Trump, they just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall. A little bit stuck. Most of it did not. And I think the people seen what they did to Trump. And Trump won. And he deserved to win. I mean, that's another story. I mean, we almost lost Trump. Does this world even understand we almost lost another president in our lifetime? Trump was almost stolen from us. And the left, I've seen people on Facebook and in the internet hoping that shooter, that young, I think the kid was like 19 or something, had a better shot. How much do you hate your country that you hope that a former president gets killed? All because you're offended by him? What, he's too masculine? What, he's not a soy boy? What is the deal? Again, I don't defend a lot of Trump's behavior and a lot of the things that he does, right? I think he should be called out when he does the wrong thing. But my God, he's a human being. He was the president of this country. He's going to be the president, God willing, right, on January 20th. And so to celebrate even a former president's death is just bizarre to me. When Kennedy was shot, the country came together. It didn't matter. When Reagan was shot, the country came together. I remember crying and being upset when Reagan got shot. I was very upset. We didn't know if Reagan was going to die. Remember, they were going to remove him from office while he was being operated on. I remember it like it was yesterday. And his cabinet said, no, he is still the president. And thank God he survived. But, we're living in a world where it's like, hey, I would not want Harris shot. I would defend Harris, right? This isn't, for me, it's not a political thing. It's a morally right issue. But I just don't know where the left is on this stuff. They've crossed the Rubicon. With that said, I'm going to start wrapping it up a little bit. I was going to talk about Bitcoin. I was going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, but I'm going to save that for another episode. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be on. I'm going to take tomorrow off. It's Christmas. But I'll be on after that. I really hope that you like and share my stuff. I'm on youtube.com/BrewMedia. I'm on X at Brew Media. I'm on Instagram at Brew Media Official. Like, share. Please promote my page. I'm a one-man band. I don't get any funding from anywhere. I'm not part of any establishment. I will always tell you the truth, and I respect other people's opinions. And what I'd like is to have more interactions with you guys out there, and get to hear from you guys, maybe get to interview you guys, because the truth is, you aren't being represented. The mainstream media, you know, if you look, they always have on the same people, and they go from show to show, and they tell you the same opinion, and a lot of people tune in to only one side. You know, I'm going to listen to one thing, and what I'm asking you to do is broaden your mind. You know, give people a chance. If it doesn't make sense to you, throw it away. If it makes sense, take it and run with it. But I leave you with prayer. And Almighty Father, please look over everybody. All of our friends and family, we love you, and we accept everything in this life, and we love you. And please rest our family and friends in heaven's souls. We miss them, we love them, including our pets. My lovely Pebbles, you know, and I know you people have a lot of pets that have passed, and we miss them, and we love our pets, and we love our family. And I just want to say I love you guys, and I really hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Thank you for coming in and sharing this time with me. You guys could have been anywhere, but you decided to be here, and I appreciate you, and I love you. God bless, and have a great night.